This is Mr. Tony Miiro, the CEO of Nonda Coffee.
Now, we don't necessarily need to fight for market positioning, but the more people understand the uniqueness that Uganda as a coffee producing country brings on table, the more value we get as a people.
Okay.
If I may just chip in, just to give you a little bit of statistics.
Please, do it, yeah.
Uganda right now, when it comes to coffee volumes, I think as of 2020, we produced close to 28 million kilos of coffee. Now, when you look at that, we are number 6 as a coffee producing country. And the world, out of close to 300 countries, there are only 70 countries that can produce coffee. Okay? And of those 70 countries, we are number 6. Now, if we are number 6 and we got only close to $500,000 in the export value of our product, then we need to review. It means that per capita, if we are 45 million people and 12 million people, because when you get to Uganda Coffee Development Authority, it indicates that close to 12.5 million people are directly involved into the coffee value chain as a subsector.
True.
But if the value chain as a subsector, in its total value, it can, let's say, have a contributor as maybe $600 million. When you do the per capita rate, it becomes rather very discouraging. As in, you find that averagely every one of the 12 million people, annually they are earning about 120,000 Ugandan shillings, which is about close to $35 if you do the math. But that is not good enough. And the only way that can help that get better is promoting local consumption from about the current 3% of what we produce to at least 10 to 30% of what we produce as a country, especially of the Arabica species of coffee. Because our palates are not so strong with the acidic, Robusta. Let's promote at least the increased consumption of the Arabica locally. If we can increase that, we can consume as a country 10 or 30% of what we produce, then the value increases.
Wow.
You get it.
Wow.
So that's the rationale behind our involvement into this value chain. To see to it that, one, we attract investment because that's our agenda. 2, we bring relevancy into the subsector because it's a big time employer. Imagine if we are 45 million people and coffee alone is employing 12.5 million people. Literally, that could be, when you do the math, that could be close to 4. It's a big percentage.
Correct.
Of our population.
Yes, about maybe talking about 4 to 10% of our population. Yes.
You could talk about 30% of our population actually.
Almost, yes.
Is literally involved directly into coffee.
Correct.
So if we increase the per capita in the coffee subsector, it means we would have boosted our economy almost by 3.
Okay.
So the rationale behind our engagement as a private player with other private players is to see that we bring about a disruption that sort of like spikes the earnings within the coffee subsector for the entire relevance of the country.
As we close the show, how would you get a person who doesn't drink coffee to start drinking coffee? How would you get the CEO and every media manager out there who gets bored, tired from their desk job to run to Endiro Coffee or to Nonda Coffee to find coffee, or to Cafe Pub to find coffee? How are you going to get them to appreciate the value you're talking about vis-a-vis the farmer, to appreciate that my product is changing lives out there? How are you going to bridge the gap? Let's summarize that in 1 minute.
Okay, what we do is, one, we are now coming up with coffee clinics in different places. People just come and taste coffee the simplest way they know how. Get it, put it in a cup, put in some milk, because Ugandans have a smooth palate. They want to taste coffee. They love the flavor. So we are trying to put the coffee closer to them in the simplest of ways. They do free tests. And we are trying to come up with a program of just telling people and training them how to brew these coffees locally at home. Maybe just one thing to mention.
Yes.
I would want people to understand that there is a very big difference between what we call an instant coffee and a fresh roast coffee. So most of the coffees that you're going to find as local grown coffees or brands, they are what we call fresh roast coffees. They are very, very good coffees. They are not instant coffees. You don't put them in the cup and they dissolve, but they'll give a very good cup. You'll get the real rich flavors and they'll give you a distinct taste that you may not find even in most of the instant coffees that you take. But all I could say is that we can teach you how you get a very good cup of coffee from our fresh roasts. Thank you again, Mr. Okila.
Well, you've had that one from Miiro. Miiro, thank you very much. What's your one last shot in seconds of that if you were to say to me right now on the street will get the person to drink Nonda coffee in second?
If you want to live happy, if you want to live long, if you want to live impactful, take coffee. Coffee anytime, coffee anywhere, take your coffee today. Thank you.